Welcome to the Grow Your Practice podcast. Hi, I'm your host, Chad Madden, owner of Madden Physical Therapy and Breakthrough. Join me each week as we dive into the best practices, systems, principles, tips, and tricks to help you grow your private practice. Welcome to the Grow Your Practice podcast. I'm your host, Chad Madden. This week, I wanted to share with you a recording from a recent webinar. To get access to the slides and videos of this recording, you can visit getbreakthrough.com/resources. Remember, this was a training hosted with a live audience, so there are real-time questions and answers that I think you will find valuable. Without further ado, let's get started. I hope you enjoyed this episode.
Excited to be here today and share with you all 3 marketing activities for maximizing your revenue. And we'll also dive into a few tactics that you can implement in under 4 hours that will make an impact to revenue. So really excited to share that with you. Just a little overview. I'm head of marketing here at Breakthrough. I joined the team 3 years ago and just love working with PTs, and really excited to dive into this presentation. So why talk about marketing? Why have this session sort of right in the middle here? Well, the big reason is, and not to be redundant with these issues that we're facing in private practice today, but marketing, when done right, when focused on ROI, will help you improve your profit margins. It will help overcome low reimbursements, grow revenue. Byproduct of that, be more competitive in the hiring market as well. And so I'm going to unpack 3 activities to really dive into and how they can improve these areas. So before I get started, we'd love to get some activity in the chat. And just around like your biggest challenge in marketing. What's your number one challenge? Would love to see some answers in the chat. All right. So as a framing, and if you drop those answers in the chat, I'll be able to take a look at them, be able to address some of them at the end, also kind of see where everyone's at, quality of leads, shoring an ROI. We're going to dive into the ROI for sure, which goes into the leads in a bit. So I will start this presentation with really talking about the 5 stages of awareness. If you have attended some of our webinars related to marketing in the past, you may have heard myself or Chad go through these before. And these are really fundamental to how I think through and we think through marketing here at Breakthrough. And this was coined by Eugene Schwartz in his book, Breakthrough Advertising. And it's really fundamental to how you think about a marketing calendar and what you do and what you don't do at what stage. So I'm going to break down those stages, and then I will use this as a guide for the activities today. So your first stage is you're unaware. People that are unaware are saying things like, I can't reach into the back seat, or I can't go and put on my socks, but I'm just getting old. Like they don't necessarily see it as a problem. They know they're limited in their functionality, but they don't necessarily think that's an issue. They think it's commonplace and it's okay. Problem aware are those that can't put on the socks and they realize they have a problem. Hey, I'm in pain. I have an issue. How can I get help? They're searching on Google of things of like, shoulder pain, back pain, how to treat back pain. They have no idea what to do, but they know they have a problem. This is going to be a large part of the market. Then you start to get into solutionware. These are those that they know that there are solutions to help with whatever their pain may be, but they're not sure which solution to choose. They're maybe going to their PCP, getting recommendations. They might be taking different over-the-counter medications or prescribed medications. They may be, in fact, be aware of PT. They may not, but they know there's solutions out there, not sure which solution to choose. Then there's those that are product aware. And so when we think of product aware, this is someone that's aware of PT. They're searching on Google, physical therapist near me. I'm in Fort Worth, Texas, searching PT in Fort Worth, Texas. And so they know they want a PT. They know they want to go. They're just not sure which person to go to. They're probably looking at reviews, proximity to their address, like who's the closest to me, who's the best reviews, what's different about this practice versus another. This is a smaller portion of the market, but it's definitely one that's like very aware. Then there's those that are fully aware. And those that are fully aware are typically the patients you're treating today. They're your past patients, your patient list. And this is the most valuable. They're bought into the way that your practice runs. They're brought into the therapist that they've seen. And so this is incredibly valuable, but it's a much smaller percentage of the market. So this is going to frame everything today. And the first activity we're going to talk about actually is going to be about aware. How do you reach those that are aware? And so it's marketing to past patients. And we're going to specifically focus on email today. And the reason why we're going to dive into this is because your past patient list is one of your most valuable assets. And so often in PT, and in fact, like the recent study shows like 93% of practices are losing money on their patient list. In fact, a lot aren't using their patient list. And if you look at, and we go outside of PT and a lot of valuation, especially if you say you get into like the social media world, or you get into companies like Credit Karma that had a massive exit and sailed into it. The reason for it is because of the size of their list. The amount of active users that they have often increases that valuation. And so often as practices, we see a lot of practices aren't really leveraging their list at all. And although that's one of their most valuable assets. And so just to kind of go through 4 levels, I want to get a sense of where everyone on the call is today, like with past patient marketing. And so I'm going to go through 4 levels and then do really a poll to kind of see where we're at. So level 1 is you don't have a patient list. You're either new to private practice, don't have a list, haven't really kept a list in one particular place, and so you don't have a list. Level 2 is you have a patient list. You just don't really know what to do with it, or maybe you do some certain things sporadically. Maybe you've sent an email out here or there, but not really sure next steps. Level 3 is you're successfully leveraging your past patient list and you are driving reactivations from it. Not necessarily consistency, but you've seen the value in the past patient list and you reap some of the benefits of that. And level 4 is really that you're successfully using your patient list. You're reactivating consistently every month. Every month you have campaigns that you're doing, whether it be email, whether it be text, whether it be direct mail. You're doing things with your past patient list. So quick poll that Andrew will throw up here in a second, but really which level are you at? And I'll kind of go back so you can see these levels again. All right, so get some data in. I'm seeing about 63% are at level 2. What we're saying is around level 2. And then level 3 is around 20%. So similar level 1 and 4. And so really mostly here at level 2. So yeah, we'll jump into specifically email and some tactics that you can do within email. And why am I talking about email over direct mail or over text? And the reason is email is the most accessible and one of the easiest to use. 2, and so that's not listed here, but 2 is that people use email. Studies show that 90% of Americans age 15 or over have an active email address. So people are still using email. Sometimes you'll hear news like, oh, email is dead. People aren't using email. Just simply not true. People are still using email today. It's very cost effective. You've already done the hard work to build the list. You've already done the hard work there. And so then it's just a matter of leveraging that. It builds your brand. Staying constantly in the inbox on a consistent basis. We're not talking about every day, but you're in the inbox once or twice a month, your brand recall. It increases revenue. A recent study shows that 60% of consumers say that they made a purchase because of an email at some point. And so people are purchasing through email. It helps you stand out. Just looking at the numbers in the poll, we're seeing roughly 7% of those that are on and polled are saying that they're at a level 4. Now that just putting that in perspective, that means that most practices aren't yet at a level 4. If you're get to a level 4, it will really help you stand out in the marketplace. On the left here, and I'll provide the template for this a bit later. And this is just results from one email that a customer sent. They sent 500 emails, certain template that I'll give away here, single question email, and they got 60 responses from it, 11 plans of care, so 11 patients reactivated. So email is effective. So when you're getting into email, some common mistakes to avoid, and we see these quite often. First is just using emails in the wrong way and not how people typically use it. And an example of this would be sending what you might send in direct mail, maybe a long newsletter, out an email. Typically, when you get into very long, lots of photos, here's an update, they're just not as effective as emails that look more hyper-personalized and speaking to them. The second is we focus, and I'll get into some things later about how to kind of take messaging off of the we focus and make it more about the patient in the marketing. But people want to know how you can benefit them, not really all the things that you're doing. Sending emails inconsistently. So this hurts in a number of ways. One, if your past patient list isn't expecting emails, they're less likely to open them over time. It also has negative implications with whatever email client you're using, spam filters and different things that help make email work by getting it actually in front of people into the inbox. If you're very sporadic and inconsistent, makes it difficult to have effectively hit the inbox. Having no clear goals or CTA. So anytime someone opens an email, it's an opportunity to start a conversation. It's an opportunity to get them to click on a link, to watch a video, read an article, to really take a next action. And so it's important to have a call to action or a CTA. Mistakes you'll see is continuing to email unengaged lists. So that goes right into segmentation. If someone came in for treatment on a rotator cuff issue, emailing them things related to knee or hip issues may not be super relevant. So segmentation is important. Someone has an open email and the last 10 emails you sent, they're probably not going to open the 11th. It's good for list hygiene to just take them off the list. So those are some things not to do. So how do you get started? So you're at level 1, you're at level 2. Most of us here are at level 2. How do we get to level 3? First off, you want to decide on a cadence and stick to it. So if you're at level 2 and you're sending kind of an email sporadically, you probably don't have a cadence. So the first thing there is stick to a cadence. Start once a month on an email, stick to it, create a calendar for 12 months of emails that you're going to send and really stick to that. Come to expect it. You can even start with an email, like if you haven't emailed someone in a while, just more of like introducing what you're going to be doing to gain interest initially. Always offer value. So this kind of transitions from that we focused to the patient focused and balancing offers and goodwill. And so value focused is providing short video on 3 exercises to help with lower back pain. So that's value focused. And then personalize and segment, which we sort of got into before, but any good email tool is going to allow you to personalize with some merge tags, they call it, but ultimately to say my first name. And then segmentation helps you to personalize to know if they came in for a certain issue that you're now talking about those issues in the email. So back to the single question email. So this is one of the things that you can implement in under 4 hours, assuming that you have an email tool. And even if you don't have an email tool, you can go into Gmail or Outlook, whatever email client you're using, and email people one-to-one this way as well. So the instructions here is you're going to send just a single question in an email. You could do it to your entire email list, a segmented portion of a list. If you're just using Gmail or Outlook, you can just send it to one-to-one to certain names that you have. And then you're going to be looking to get a response in that email. And then when you get a response, you want to handle those replies according to the response. And so the email looks like this. Question about shoulder pain. Hi, Mary. The team and I are collecting some information. I'd love your help. Have you experienced any shoulder pain in the last week? Let me know. And then this final section is really, really key. I'd love to hear from you, even if it's only one sentence. It's important to keep that in because it combats one of the main objections people have to responding to email. If you're anything like me, there's sometimes you get an email and you don't respond right away because you're thinking you don't have time to write the proper response. And so you're trying to think of what you're going to say. You don't want your patient to be in that situation. You want to give them permission to just say yes, to just say no, to just do an incomplete sentence. And this sentence gives them permission. And this is results. This exact email that went out had 40% open rates, benchmarks 20% healthcare, 2.6% reply rate. Benchmark for reply rates are well under 1%. And so sending an email like this, if you think of your past patient list size and you do the math, if you can get a 2.5% response rate on the size of that list, how many conversations have you now started that you can now lead into reactivation? So number 2, and I'm probably going to start going quickly here just due to time, but is attracting the cold market or demand creation. HIPAA compliance with email lists. Just saw that question. I can speak to that a bit if we have time here at the end, for sure. So in attracting the cold market, we call demand creation, and I'll dive into that here. Really, what is demand creation? So it's strategies and tactics designed specifically to increase awareness and interest in your practice, primarily from the unaware and problem-aware market. So this is the market that's not aware that your practice exists. They're not even fully aware that there's a viable solution for them, whether they should choose PT, whether they should choose, medications or surgeries. They're not even there yet. They just have a problem primarily, but they're not know how to treat it. That's the largest portion of the market. And that's demand creation is getting them to be aware. It's getting them all the way from not knowing you to knowing you. And so again, there's 4 levels. I'm not going to go through them all because it's very similar to what we did with the past patient mastery, but I would love to, as I just went through demand creation, get a sense of how familiar are we with the concept, and based on that familiarity, how would you rate your level? All right, as that poll starts to come in, I'll go to this slide and then I'll circle back on the results. So why is it vital to increasing profitability? Why focus on demand creation? Why go to the cold market? Why is it number 2 on my list here? Well, the first reason is studies show that 90% of people that need PT will never schedule an appointment. So that means that in PT, but most people that have a problem are not choosing PT. Healthcare system is really against it. It's not set up in our favor. And so we've got to flip that pyramid there and really focus on educating the cold market. And so we kind of just look here. If you have your community, there's people in pain. The percentage that are actually looking for PT is very small compared to the percentage of people that have an issue that you can help with. And if you don't focus on the cold market, those people are likely not going to choose PT. They're going to go to their PCP. There's going to be other things recommended, and typically, or they're going to end up at a Hops and Pops. It's typically not going to go to private practice PT. And so, focusing on the cold market is where the lion's share of the market is, and it's where the most new patients are. We had, I think Tony a couple sessions ago was talking about negotiating reimbursement rates. That doesn't happen without creating demand first. Typically, you're going to get to a place where you have a wait list, you're filling schedules in space, you're at a point where now you can go and negotiate, or you can even drop a payer because you have enough demand to give the flexibility to do that negotiation. And so that's really an important first step. And then it gives you more control over to treat your ideal patient. So if you're going out to the cold market, you can go after different patients when you do that. If you're looking to attract more runners, you can do that. If you're looking to attract golfers, you can do that. So if you have a certain niche and an ideal patient, you can make adjustments when you go to the cold market. You don't have to wait for them to come to you. So how to get started? First up is with the market, kind of coming right into that. Who is your ideal patient? And then once you know who that is, what's the demographics? What are their firmographics? How do they think? What are their psychographics? What are their main problems? Understanding that first. You're going to use that to craft any messaging that you do, any funnel that you do. Funnel would be like you have an ad or a landing page, direct mail piece, whatever it is that you're looking to gain their attention. How do they end up becoming a patient? From first gaining their attention to becoming a patient, that is your funnel. Your messaging is going to be derived from your understanding of the pains of the market. Then your media is going to be choosing where you're placing this messaging. If you're going after someone that's, a certain demographic that's not primarily on TikTok, you're not going to really be on TikTok. If you're going after someone that's, you're going to be where they are, and that's important. And then fourth is systems and process. It's important to do these first 3 first and understand this, and then the system and process. Do you have a streamlined way of understanding what's working here, of looking at a calendar, of doing marketing? So getting things in under 4 hours that you can do. There's two things I'm going to give away here, and just one is the Fab Matrix. So this is a good way to improve the messaging from the last slide. So often, if I go on websites, there's a list of features, all these things that you do, and typically people care less about the details of what you do and more about the outcome and benefit for them. And so this is an exercise that you can do. Go through your website and any area that you have features, or what are all the things that you do. Go put it feature. What's the advantage of this, and what's the benefit? And then adjust the language on the site to lead with the benefit. What's the advantage of that benefit? And then what's the feature that provides that benefit? Especially when going to the cold market, it's about the benefit first. They're not feature shopping. They're not looking to see, are you doing this one little thing differently than this other practice? Because they're not at that level of awareness. They just want to know, can you solve that main problem they have? And so leading with that benefit. The second thing that you can do, and this is just steps to record a video, is search for something that you want to see more patients for. Let's just say shoulder pain. You can go and Google, you can search shoulder pain, scroll, depending how many ads, just scroll, and you'll get to this place that's called People Also Ask. These questions that are here, Google is populating to say, like, these are the most common searched questions that people with shoulder pain are asking based on their data, which is very statistically significant. There's a lot of questions like this. Take one of these, get your iPhone, your Android, just record a quick video on how you would answer one of these questions if a patient came in today, and just record that, put that on YouTube, put that on your social channels, and then put the title to be really tied into the question, just answering that question. And that you can do quickly. Don't worry about the sound quality. Don't worry about, is all the lighting great? Just really worry about, like, am I solving this problem in this video? Is what I'm saying providing value? All right, the third is creating your calendar. The calendar is important for all stages. I didn't talk about product aware so much here, solution aware. I wanted to do the third is really your calendar, because this is what's going to help with consistency. To get consistent patients year round, you really need a calendar. You need to be doing consistent marketing activity year round. Dr. Tony was just on. This is a quote from him. You can't fill my clinics. I can't hire. You can't grow. You can't increase practice value. You can't scale without filling your clinics. And typically what we see is there's a pattern, right? You need more patients, you market, and then all of a sudden you've got a wait list, schedules are full, you need to hire, you're waiting, so you stop marketing, and all of a sudden you get the new hires, and then you need marketing again, you start it all over again. And then we kind of come back to feeling like we can't get consistency. But the solution is to stay consistent with your marketing. Staying consistent with your marketing allows you to stay consistent with your demand. It puts you in the driver's seat. So if we were to look at practice A and B, most likely most of us on this call have a website. And so if you look at A and B, like, they both have a website. Practice A is doing all these different things. If we look at these practices, we say which one probably has most consistency, likely be practice A. But so often will result to, like, being inconsistent in our marketing, even though we know practice A is what we strive for. So quick takeaway here on creating a marketing calendar. I think my time here is coming close to an end. So I'll just quickly go through this. You want to define your goals. Then you want to find a good calendar tool. From there, go through the market message media framework from the slides before, Fab Matrix, theme. And then from there, start putting in, like, what am I doing for the most aware? What am I doing for unaware? What am I doing for product aware? And then map that out on a calendar. So all of these things that are here, cold market, past patient, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Google Ads, past patient marketing, email, SMS, software that supports all of it, like all that Breakthrough does. We call it the patient demand flywheel. Help you track, convert, and measure. We do all these things. And so if you're interested in kind of diving deeper into any of the strategies I talked about, or if you want to see how Breakthrough can help with those particular strategies for you, we'll just do a quick poll. And if you're interested in hopping on just a marketing strategy call with one of the marketing experts here at Breakthrough, we would love to chat with you. So just put yes in there, and then likely Morgan will reach out to schedule that at a time for you. And we'd love to talk to you about some of these strategies. Well, also this recording will be available, and you can go through and take some of these strategies you can implement in under 4 hours.
Hello, podcast listeners. I apologize for my voice. Recently suffered a traumatic blow to my trachea, but nonetheless, wanted to share something with you. A recurring issue amongst breakthrough owners over the last few years has been hiring and keeping top-notch employees. Many have lost significant staff members to higher paying jobs, often in local hospital systems or healthcare systems. Another common concern is the difficulty of finding candidates despite regular advertising efforts. However, there's good news. We're hosting a live event in Denver, Colorado from October 5th through 7th, specifically designed to help you improve your hiring processes. We'll concentrate on helping you attract high quality employees and teaching you how to incentivize and retain them so that your business can have a greater impact in your community by helping more people, serving more people. The industry is always shifting, which is why we've created new sessions specifically on employee recruitment and retention. You'll hear from current practice owners and industry experts who are navigating these issues right now in the trenches of private practice. This event is going to take place again October 5th through 7th, but remember, seats must be reserved ahead of time, as the training is exclusively for private practice owners. To reserve your seat, go to info.getbreakthrough.com/fall 2023. At the event, you're going to learn the 8 phases of the hiring pipeline. You're going to learn, and this is a new session, ways to improve employee engagement, the 4 levels of competence and confidence, where we're going to talk about situational leadership, and having crucial conversations. And then we're also going to have a special session specifically on recruitment strategies that are working in today's market. Again, the event is October 5th through 7th in Denver, Colorado. To reserve your seat, go to info.getbreakthrough.com/fall 2023. Also, a lot of owners will ask, can I bring my team along? Absolutely. Our best practices will frequently bring 10 or more of their team members along as well. So if you have a team member who's key in helping you hire and retain your other employees, maybe it's a clinical director or center manager, certainly you can bring them along as well.
Remember to visit getbreakthrough.com to access our free resource library designed specifically for private practice growth. While you're there, make sure you register for a complimentary growth assessment to learn about potential opportunities for growth in your local market. Again, thank you for tuning into the Grow Your Practice podcast and supporting our mission to help people in pain get back to normal naturally.